My boyfriend Patrick and I have been together for over a year. I am currently 6 months pregnant with Patrick's child.
It was very much like a fairy tale when our relationship first started.
Pat very much did lead me to believe that I would have my Notebook ending. Instead of having a fairy tale ending, my life today is lifeless, dark, empty, lonely, and full of remorse.
Beth is one of the most untrusting people I've ever met.
I do not trust Patrick on any level.
You're accused again and again, and you get to that boiling point.
He'll call me a heartless, stone-cold, bleeping bitch, you bleeping, you insecure, bleeping human being. You are so untrusting. You're a bleeping, crazy, pathetic bitch. Pat is 6'3", 250 pounds. He's a boxing instructor. My fear is that one day Pat may just go crazy and hurt me.
Beth suspects I may be communicating with other women. I'm not.
I've caught Pat lying about women. I've seen him physically with other women. I've seen messages. I always feel Pat is sneaking behind my back. Once Pat and I got into a huge fight.
In my mind, I thought the relationship was over. The next day, I went out with another woman. Beth saw me.
I was hysterical, sickened beyond belief.
The fact of the matter is that issue is a year old. It's ridiculous that it's still even being brought up.
It makes me feel like I have to have a constant chokehold on him because I cannot trust him.
I feel as though Beth's looking for something that isn't there. She's searching for mermaids and Bigfoot, and they don't exist.
Beth thinks she has figured out exactly why Patrick treats her the way that he does.
Pat is a complete narcissist. Patrick feels he is the gift to women. All women want him. All women need him. Pat thinks the world does revolve around him.
I don't feel narcissistic. I'm very caring towards others, would prefer to do more for others than for myself.
He has a massive life-size ego. Often I just don't exist to him.
I don't think that I'm egotistical at all. I by no means think that I'm better than anyone else.
Pat has beaten me down emotionally so badly. I don't know where to begin to put the pieces back together.
I don't think I come across as arrogant to people.
When I tell Pat this is how he's acting towards me, I am referred to as, you're just crazy, heartless, insecure. The only reason I know I'm still alive is because it hurts so bad.
Now, basically, if she would just calm down, everything would be fine, right?
I believe so.
If she would just quit being so paranoid and trust you, then everything would be okay.
I honestly believe that, yes. I think a lot of we have heated arguments that are far from pretty, but a lot of them derive from issues that are non-issues. There's nothing there.
Right. And you said when you met her, she was the greatest woman you knew instantly. You saw the way she bonded with her son, the way she carried herself, who she was. You said, wow, she's way out of my league, but she's something else.
I still feel that way about her.
Yeah. You do?
Yes. I think that Beth wants that fairy tale-like story, similar to The Notebook, which is her favorite movie, and she wants her Prince Charming. What Beth has to realize is that he's already here, and she just has to open the door and let him in.
What are you doing through all of this? I mean, he says you just sit around and just play the little victim like, gee golly darn. What the hell's up with you?
I just sit there quiet. I'm not allowed to say anything.
What do you mean you're not allowed to tell him how you feel?
It won't be heard. It will be shut down.
How do you feel? You say you don't get nobody to listen to. I'm listening now. How do you feel? Give a voice to your feelings. How do you feel?
Broken.
Go on. How do you feel?
Defeated. Lifeless. I don't exist.
Does he piss you off? Then tell him. I mean, say something. Show me something that you care.
He doesn't piss me off. He destroys me. He rips my entire will to live from me. I just want the truth. I want him to surrender. When Pat feels threatened or as though you're onto him, that's when the attacks come.
Well, I have your original letter here that you sent to me. Why don't you read her letter out loud, just the parts that are underlined?
Sure. Involved with a man who suffers from narcissistic personality disorder, alcoholic, verbally assaults, children are exposed, toxic, damaging. I feel beaten senseless, lies, cheating, verbal attacks, baby on the way, lost all sense of who, mother, friend, partner, woman, human being, my fault, liar, a heartless, insecure, untrusting, and lazy. Much regret, remorse, shame, and humiliation. I hate my life, decisions I made. I hate what I've exposed my children to. But most of all, I hate not being heard. My screams, my silence, my mask isn't valid proof enough. Dr. Phil, please help me and my children. There are no words that I can write to even come close to how terrible, toxic, damaging, and completely shattered my reality really is. I think I've been as transparent as I can possibly be with Beth now. She has access to my phone anytime she wants it.
I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody where I feel as though I have to check his phone. I always feel like Pat is lying to me. I feel that Pat is a master manipulator. All of the problems we have regarding trust and insecurities, they're all my fault.
She blows things up. They get way out of proportion.
If I try to confront Pat, the fights begin. What Pat does is yells, screams, rants, raves. He'll come back and just, I'm sorry, I love you. You have to start trusting me. I love you more than anything.
In order for my relationship to work with Beth, I need her to trust me.
Okay, so you want her to trust you, right?
Yes.
Are you trustworthy?
I've given her reason not to trust me in the past, but right now, yes, absolutely. She used the word when he's going to be exposed. The fact of the matter is, there's nothing to expose me for. I'm not doing anything wrong.
All right, how many children do you have?
2.
And how many children do you have?
3.
And then you have 1 on the way. So there's 6 children in this crossfire. I listened to you yelling and screaming and calling her and bleeping this and bleeping that and we're done, you're done, all of that stuff, just rah, 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 rah. Okay, this is a test. What the hell's the matter with you? What's wrong with you that makes that seem okay?
Oh, it's absolutely not okay.
Well, but, no, I hear you say that, and that's the socially acceptable answer. And I mean, anybody would know
answer.
to say, no, that's not okay, of course. But at the time, you give yourself permission to do it. And you say, well, but you didn't hear the rest of it. You didn't hear her saying, I got no socks for you, and you're a liar and a cheater and a this and a that and all that. I get that. But I'm talking about you as a man. How is that acceptable to you as a man?
It's not acceptable. It's, as I said, the best way I could probably describe it, it's fear and insecurity. It's not right. In our home, there's 5 kids. Beth has 3 children. I have 2.
And Pat and I also have 1 child on the way. My children and his daughter have been exposed to so much toxic behavior, arguing, screaming. They don't like seeing their mom crying on the bed, on the floor. They don't understand.
I hate the fact that the kids have seen us argue and have heated arguments. I hope this hasn't had an effect on the children.
Things have gotten so bad that I have on multiple occasions taken my children and his daughter out of the house and stayed at a hotel.
Beth picking up and leaving with the children was absolutely blowing things out of proportion.
At times I am afraid for my kids around Pat. I don't want them exposed to that.
Well, Beth, who is 6 months pregnant, was extremely candid when it came to discussing this unborn child.
I'm 6 months pregnant with Pat's child.
We're expecting a boy. I'm very excited about this. When I see Beth pregnant with that child, it's just amazing. I think she's just even more and more beautiful.
When I think about carrying his baby, I feel just broken. Everything was a lie. Everything was a sham. The love that I thought was shared conceiving this child was all just a sham. I love my baby. I don't want to feel resentment, but I do.
Let me ask you something. You said a couple of things. One, you resent the child you're carrying. Not good. You said two things that jumped out at me just amazingly. In fact, you said a couple times. They're in your letter, which is why I printed it out. First off, you said, quote, "He makes me feel," and then you went through a whole list of things here. "He is the only one who can fix my emotions." That's a quote from you.
He can hurt me, beat me down, scream at me, call me every name in the book. But in order to make that right and to see and feel the other side that I have felt and that I have known, it's by getting the truth. And that's my biggest issue.
How much truth do you need? I mean, this just sounds like a pity party and you're the guest of honor. What the hell are you? Listen, if this was just the two of you, I would say, you know, y'all deserve each other. Just go out, go forth and make each other miserable. At least it saves two other people. Okay? But there are children here.
Pat and I have talked about marriage a zillion times. It's like the carrot he dangles over my head.
I still look forward to marrying Beth.
When I think about marriage now and marrying Pat, it's non-existent.
I was gonna buy a ring for Beth, and then we had an argument, and that doesn't really give you a hell of a lot of incentive.
At this point, all talks about marriage are a fairy tale. It will never be our reality.
Well, we're back with Beth and Patrick, a couple in crisis who say being here today is their last hope to save this failing relationship. And I don't know whether that's true or not. Based on their history, they seem to be highly resilient in toxic environments. But nonetheless, I want to give you some very clear steps and guidelines. And in case you're curious, by the way, I'm a pretty good judge of horse flesh. You know, when you've been doing this as long as I have, you get where you pretty good read of people, right? And this is not an evil guy.
I know that.
He's not. He's not an evil guy. He's not even a malicious guy. He's an alcoholic, and most of what he does when he shouldn't do it, he's probably drunk, or at least in some way under the influence. He's emotionally immature, and so he just does things in the heat of the moment when he's in pain that inflict a lot of pain. And, you know, there's an old game people play called Get Them Before They Get Me. And if he starts feeling like you're kind of crowding in on him and you're going to start causing him to look at things that he doesn't want to look at, then he starts calling you bleeping, this and bleeping, that, and blah, 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 and then medicates himself with alcohol so he doesn't have to think about it. How am I doing?
Very well.
So why would you want a guy like that? Because that's not the guy that he is. That's just part of the guy that he is. Here's the problem. You say, okay, I get that. So we agree, Dr. Phil. Yeah, well, we agree with that. What we don't agree with is that you have the right to subject your children to that while he's working it out, because you absolutely, unequivocally do not. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.